Are you feeling sore? We can make that better. Tune in to the Ateneo Senior High School's first radio program, Soar, the Seniors On Air Radio, where you can listen to music you want, straight from our playlists. Don't change that channel yet, because Soar is ready to put the you in youth. Soar, Seniors On Air, here on radyo-katipunan 87.9 FM. The Jesuit Hour.
Wait, what? No! Let's try that again. Join the fun bunch of the Hugot Hour with Father J-Boy as we talk about anything and everything under the sun. Share your everyday Hugot moments and everyday Hugot quotes. G, tara na! Usap tayo. Bring your own baon. Bring your own Hugot. The Hugot Hour with Father J-Boy and friends gathers every Monday at 6:30 to 8 in the evening. Only here on Radio-Katipunan 87.9 FM. Want to find out more about the famed org community of the Ateneo?
Yeah.
Wondering what projects and initiatives our student organizations are currently up to? Curious to hear the perspectives and motivations of the different people that make up the org community? Tara na't magkwentuhan! Kwentuhang MVP takes you to the vibrant and passionate organization community of the Ateneo de Manila. Tune in every Friday as we catch up with our student leaders and our organizations and find out how they're continually pushing forth with their advocacies. Kwentuhang MVP, taking the MVP to you.
To listen to music that uplifts the soul, follow jescom.ph on Spotify and Jescom Music on YouTube. Our music is also available on iTunes and Deezer.
Welcome to The Rundown, where we take you right into the action with the latest sports news, updates, game previews, breakdown, and analysis in, around, across, and beyond the Ateneo. And now, let's get ready to run down!
Getting reliable health information about the COVID-19 outbreak can be a lifesaver. Rumors and false information can help further spread the virus. To counter this epidemic, it is important to rely on information coming from professional and ethical newspapers, TV and radio channels, and news websites. Quality journalism is now more crucial than ever. During the COVID-19 outbreak, only trust official information sources and credible media outlets. Do not share unverified information. This is a message from UNESCO.
Radio-Katipunan 87.9 FM. Follow at Radio-Katipunan in our social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter.
Mamangha sa lalim at ganda ng ating kultura at diwang makabayan sa mga salita at pahina. Sa tulong ng mga guro at manunulat ng panitikang Pilipino, halina't tuklasin ang yaman ng ating panitikan, ang pamana ng ating lahi. Ito ang Sari-Sari, tuwing Miyerkules, 11:00 ng umaga, dito sa Radio-Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Iwasan ang pagkakaroon at pagkalat ng sakit na COVID-19. Palagiang maghugas ng kamay. I-check ang temperatura para sa lagnat. Umiwas sa matataong lugar. Iwasang hawakan ang mukha kapag hindi pa nakakapaghugas ng mga kamay. Iwasan muna ang pagyakap, beso-beso o paghalik sa ngayon. Maging maingat, maging ligtas.
Basta't laging handa at sama-sama, kaya natin to. Hatid sa inyo ng PCOO, DOH, KBP at ng himpilang ito.
Jesuit Music Ministry, music that uplifts the soul. Follow jescom.ph on Spotify and Jescom Music on YouTube. We are also on iTunes and Deezer. Get your daily dose of inspiration through our music. Follow jescom.ph on Spotify and Jescom Music on YouTube.
Radio-Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radio-Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radio-Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle.
sa Blue Eagle kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpa at tama. Buhay atenista sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng pera. Tulong at tulong, ipagda Blue Eagle, galing hiding at tigil, blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, katipunan, radyo, katipunan, katipunan.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
If it's entertainment you crave,
Catch us on
New Wave, surfing through the latest on our shores.
every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m.
See you there! Hello everyone and good afternoon. It's one half of your midweek gang who's always ready to hang, coming at you live via Zoom through radyo-katipunan 87.9 FM. I'm Max and today I'm here solo, so I'm hoping to see a lively comment section. So Ateneans, don't forget we are in the middle of enlistment week and I hope that's going well for most of us. For those who need it, round 2 free for all enlistment is today right after the show, so 6 p.m. All tags will be lifted on Friday, January 28 from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. So don't print out your assessment forms just yet. You still have one more chance on Friday before load rev. All right. So one thing we like to do on the show, of course, is always to talk about food. And that's what we have for our local find today. So, Dim Sum Icon is an international Kumamon restaurant chain serving huge amounts of people every day. So it's no wonder that Dim Sum Icon thrives no matter where it is. To tell us more about it is Ateneo student Chloe Reyes. So, hi Chloe, please turn on your camera and your mic.
Hi. Can you
Hi,
hear me?
good afternoon. Yes, I can.
All right.
Hi Chloe,
Hello.
so tell us about Dim Sum Icon and how you started this.
All right. So, Dim Sum Icon is our family's business franchise. So, it's actually started by my parents. And how it started actually was they have friends who have Dim Sum Icon. Like, they started it here in the Philippines. And because they were new, and my parents are big foodies, and especially my stepmom, she's a big foodie and she loves to cook. And it's also been her dream to have a business, like her own business. So they thought that it would be a nice first step to franchise something that they were interested in and something that we did enjoy. Because before franchising Dim Sum Icon, we would actually support the original store. So we tried it for ourselves. We would order it actually very often, and it became our comfort merienda na rin. So we would have like lugaw and like noodles and like the sticks that we super love. And since it's something that my parents thought were comforting, something for everyone, something for a family, and something that wasn't super, it was still a little bit different.
Yes.
Because of the wide array. That's what made them think like, okay, this is the business that we want to franchise first for, the pandemic, or the first business that they wanted to like do together as a couple. So yeah, we franchise it in Shaw Boulevard. So
all right, that's great. And perfect timing actually, because Chinese New Year is next week. I just got a text for that a while ago. So what would you recommend? What are the best things to order from the menu?
all right. So Dim sum icon, of course, the name in itself, it's dim
Mm-hmm.
sum. So the thing that we pride ourselves for would be the dim sum sticks themselves.
Oh,
so
okay.
we carry different like sticks and balls.
Mhm.
Sounds funny, but like it's like when you order like street food fish ball like that.
Yes,
So
yes.
this is like your Asian fusion of it because we have like fish tofu, the fish ball, meat ball, crab, kohu crab, king crab, those things, and it's all boiled in a special secret sauce. So you get like your Asian fusion all in a stick. So there are different variations. And the thing about these sticks, you can order them alone, but all of our menu items, so our lugao, our noodles, and our rice bowls, they also come with dim sum. So yeah, that's the main thing. Sticks, but like everything on the menu, it gets your like mixing and matching of dim sum flavors.
All right, that sounds really good. So, where can we find you? Are you available online? Do you ship across Metro Manila or to other places?
So we are actually available on GrabFood and Food Panda. You will have to search us Dim Sum Icon Shaw and check if it was reachable to you because we come from Shaw Boulevard and it's available for a long distance delivery, but you should check first like on your app if you're within reach. And if not, you can message us directly on Instagram at Dim Sum Icon Shaw and also on Facebook. And we also have like our in-house Viber to accept orders and accommodate orders for you. But check your Grab first and your Food Panda.
All right. I love how there are different options to get in touch with you guys because accessibility for food deliveries makes it so much better. So thank you, Chloe. Please leave your links in the comment section of our Facebook Live so that people know where to reach you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. So, I know a lot of our viewers enjoy watching films, and today we have an esteemed director who will be joining us. So, joining us today is a filmmaker who has not only made us proud here in the Philippines, but also abroad. His film Naka was awarded Best Fiction Film at the 3rd Minikino Film Festival, and this year he will be the only Filipino and Asian to be joining the 2022 Festival de Cannes Cine Foundation residents. So please welcome Direct Arvin Belarmino.
Hello. Hello,
Hi,
everyone.
Direct. Good afternoon. How are
Good
you?
afternoon. Good
What have you been
afternoon.
up to recently?
Ngayon, kasi bukod sa sa film, I'm also into music. So,
Oh, that's nice.
ayun, mostly writing songs lang din, tsaka writing scripts. So, since pandemic, mostly ganun lang talaga din ginagawa ko sa loob ng bahay. So,
Yes, of course. So I want to ask you about your music and of course your scripts later. But now we actually just welcome the new year. It's still January. So what have you been doing? How have you been keeping yourself busy apart from the work side?
nanonood lang ako ng mga films. Actually, yun talaga yung pang-sunog ko ng oras. So, tsaka yun, isip feeling ko yun lang talaga yung parang pinaka-comfort zone ko. Like, kung hindi man ako nagsusulat or gumagawa ng, like, walang shoot, nanonood lang ako tapos nagsa-sound trip. So, parang ganun. Nandun lang din talaga yung Tapos out siguro, feeling ko yun, wala akong maisip na iba.
Yes, that's okay. That's all right. So let's start talking about your films. And for me, looking you up online, reading biographies, it's very different from hearing the story from the source. So please tell us, how did you get interested in film? How was the beginning of your career? What got you interested in film?
Actually, yan. Sa parents ko talaga nag-start. Kasi
okay.
especially sa father ko dati nung nakatira kami sa Quiapo. Every Sunday, after ng mass, Sunday mass, dinadala na kami sa mga video rental shop. basta naalala ko ng Video City. Ganun.
Yes.
Mga panahon ng VHS. So, ayun. Mahilig talaga yung father ko doon. Tsaka yung parents ko actually. So, ayun, doon ako una talagang naunat sa panonood ng mga films. So, ayun. And then, nung college ako, thankful din ako na nagkaroon ako ng small circle of artists nung nag-aaral pa lang ako, and then eventually doon ako nagkaroon ng confidence na gumawa ng sarili ko, yung mga experimental short films. It was also because of my influences din. Syempre kasi 'di ba pag nag-start ka lalo na nung napanood ko yung nung una ko napanood yung Gangland ni Peke Galiaga nung high school ako. Parang doon mas lumalim yung comprehension ko sa parang bilang film enthusiast. And then nung college, nung napanood ko naman yung film ni Harmony Corrine, yung Gummy, parang doon naman ako nagkaroon ng confidence na parang gusto kong gumawa naman. Parang ganun. So, ngayon, mostly kasi since hindi ako film student, mostly yung influences ko tsaka yung learnings ko talaga yung dahil sa mga pelikulang pinapanood ko, and then also yung mga natututunan ko din sa kapwa ko artists, and then minsan panakaw akong nag-umaattend ng mga talk parang ganun.
Yes.
Yan, talagang may kasamang diskarte din kung halimbawa. So parang for me, talagang kung merong passion and dedication dun sa ginagawa mo, gagawan mo siya ng paraan. Pero parang ganun.
Of course. I didn't get to take a film class last semester, but I was required to take a class on creativity. And I remember my professor saying, discarte is very important and manifests itself in many different ways across the different creative industries. Like it would be different for music, it's different for film. So how else would you say discarte comes into play in the film industry, especially like as a director?
Well, isa sa mga parang major elements na dapat yung gawin para mabuo para mapunan yung diskarte na yun, kailangan talaga sobrang collaborative ka. Yung paano ka makapagtrabaho. Siyempre yun, yung magaling ka sa pag-network, kasi minsan yung pagpasimula ka pa lang, mostly pag low budget yung film, siyempre low budget film, dahil siyempre pasimula ka pa lang, wala ka pang nakukuhang parang pwedeng mag-sponsor sa'yo kasi yun nga first filmmaker kayo. So kailangan talaga marami kang friends na willing magkaroon ng yung in-kind na sponsorship. Like, papahiramin ko to ng camera kasi tropa to, parang gano'n, papahiramin ko ng ilaw to. So imagine kung gaano kalaki yung nababawas dun sa, diba? And then yung actors mo, tropa mo din na naniniwala dun sa script mo, sa story mo. So yan, mga ganun. Doon ako nag-start So parang yun yung natutunan ko na parang feeling ko para ma-achieve mo yung ganong klaseng networking and collaboration, una sa lahat, dapat maganda yung storya mo, di ba? Kasi kahit friend mo pa yan, kung hindi interesting yung storya mo, parang iisipin niya, di ba? Parang feeling ko kailangan i-improve mo pa yung storya, di ba? So parang feeling ko yun muna talaga yung doon ka muna mag-focus, parang ganon, na kailangan confident ka that this story will, go places. Alam mo yan, parang ganon. Or like, talagang mai-entice mo or magkakaroon ng magandang engagement sa bawat isa doon sa crew, sa cast and crew, na since nag-start ka sa low budget, lahat sila they are willing to sacrifice for your craft since nagsisimula ka pala. Parang ganon.
Yes, it's in a way a team effort. Like I remember in our prod classes, the same thing would happen. Very limited budget because it's part of a class. And then if you need extra hands, extra actors, you really have no choice but to ask your friends from different classes. So speaking of storytelling, I noticed that in some of your movies, you have multiple credits. Like you're both the writer and the director. Like for Naka, was mentioned earlier, and Death of Pablo. So working two roles in the production of your films, how does it help you bring out your artistic vision? Like, does it make it easier because you're both the director and the writer, or is it a little more complicated because you're thinking of the same thing from two different sides?
Actually, it's a big challenge kung halimbawa ikaw yung writer tsaka director. Kasi ako sobrang paborito ko talaga mag-conceptualize ng mga story. Tapos, syempre, ang challenge yan, paano mo naman ngayon may execute or like, paano mo visualize yung sinulat mo. Parang from nagaling sa letra to screen, to big screen, di ba? So parang,
Yes.
ganun. Sobrang challenging siya, pero ako mas nai-enjoy ko kasi din talaga yung pagdidirect. Kasi visual ako na tao eh. So, yung mostly sa conceptualization, brainstorming, doon naman ako nag-enjoy. Like, minsan, yun, pumupunta ako sa tropa, tambay, ganun-ganun, tapos kwentuhan. Minsan, sila yung mga una kong, before ko siya i-pitch sa mga malalaking kumpanya, pinipitch ko muna sa mga tropa ko. Parang gano'n, parang, okay ba to? Parang gano'n. So, ayan, gano'n. Ang sarap ng proseso ng pag-concept, yung pagbubuo ng concept. So,
Yes, that's so true. Like getting to talk about the ideas first, it's always so exciting. Now, I'm going to flip the question. So, what about when you're directing stories written by other people? Because sometimes the writer may have a different vision from the director. So, how do you get both visions to align, or how do you work this out?
Yeah, nangyari yun sa Nakaw, di ba? Tsaka yung isang film ko, yung The Guardians. Well, ewan ko, kasi ako talaga ever since yung ko very collaborative eh. Yung attitude ko rin talaga sa art. So, yun, as long as it connects to me as an individual, tapos parang papakinggan ko rin siya kung paano siya apektado dun sa storya, tapos saka namin i-merge. Kasi nagiging genuine yung storya pagka somehow connected ka dun eh, di ba? So, di ba? Yun yung importante. Kasi kung halimbawang gagawin mo lang din yan to please your team or like hindi talaga siya connected sa'yo, baka mararamdaman na parang medyo fake yung kakalabasan. So, yun yung para sa akin. Kasi yun din yung sinasabi ko sa ibang mga parang uprising filmmakers, yung mga magsisimula pa lang talaga. Make sure na dun sa passion film nila or like yung, especially sa mga first short films na gagawin nila, make sure na it's really related or connected to them as an individual. Kasi yung purity nun and yung genuine nun, yung pagiging genuine nun, lalabas yun mismo sa film nila kung paano nila yung gagawin.
That actually reminds me of a movie I watched recently. Have you seen the musical Tick Tick Boom?
Narinig ko na pero hindi ko pa siya talaga napapanood.
Okay, because not much of a spoiler, but one of the lessons is if you want to tell a good story, you have to write what you know. So in the stories you tell, since you told me you need to have a genuine connection to it, there has to be some authenticity to it. Exactly. How much truth is there in the stories you tell? Have you made a film about something that you witnessed or that you've gone through yourself?
To be honest, so far yung mga ginawa, like 90% of my short films, like because of parang personal experience, parang yung and also from mga sobrang critical immersion na nangyari din sa neighborhood ko kasi lumaki ako pareha sa Quiapo tsaka sa Cavite and na sobrang gritty ng environment. So doon ako talaga lumaki, parang alam mo yan, grabe din yung na-experience ko and na-witness ko. So ayun, although marami nang nagkwento ng ganun, ang iniisip ko na lang kasi magiging unique pa rin siya kung paano ko siya ikikwento base dun sa personal experience ko. So, yun nga, katulad ng sinabi mo, kailangan talaga sobrang genuine lang din talaga kung paano mo siya ikikwento. Na tipong dun kasi magkagaling yung uniqueness ng
course,
film.
Of course. We have a comment here from Renato Dumaran Rulete. He said, "Thank you for sharing, Direct Belarmino. I'm working here in Doha, Qatar, and I'm planning to create a story. Question ko, anong mga gamit tools para mabuo ko ang short movie, mga basic lang will do?"
Yeah, actually, kung halimbawang medyo okay yung camera mo with your mobile phone, you can actually shoot a short film using mobile phone. Tapos, you can use another mobile phone as your sound. Yun yung parang i-record mo. Tapos pwede kang gumawa ng mga minimal short films as a start. Tapos, pero kung may access ka naman to DSLR, ayun, okay din yun. Pero, make sure mo din na yung sound, kasi para sa akin, you have to pay respect with sound and visuals.
Yes, of
Kasi
course.
minsan parang sobrang na-overwhelm sila sa visuals. Nakakalimutan na nila yung sound. So may mga parang alam ko mura na ata sa mga sa online stores yung sound recorders. So ayun. Kahit siguro yung kahit mga ano lang, mga mumurahin lang din na ano. Kasi at the end of the day, pag i-edit mo siya, ang importante doon, hiwalay yung sound and yung video. At least mas mas mamamanipulate mo siya. Ako yun yung mga ginagawa ko sa mga DIY films ko before. Na ngayon kasi syempre nagkakaroon na ako ng sponsorship with the heavy gears and all. Pero it's really fun to start with these kind of tools na kahit na sobrang may restrictions ka sa gamit na napupull off mo pa rin.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
sabi nga nila pagka limited yung resources mas nagiging madiskarte ka tsaka mas nagiging creative.
That's true. That's really the training ground. Like when you have the limited supplies, limited time, that's kind of when you figure out like how else can I do this? How can I like work within these restrictions? So that's happened to you with movies. Has that happened to you with music? Did you ever have like that phase where you needed to discard it within the limited circumstances?
Actually, hanggang ngayon, pag halimbang may naiisip ako mga tono, nire-record ko agad sa phone kahit saan. Yung mga ganun, diba?
Yes.
Yung phone ko, kasi ngayon, yung mga phones natin, lalo na yung mga smartphones or Android, diba? Yung mga Android phones.
Yes.
Capable na sila of, parang doing smart stuff. So, alam mo yun, so, feeling ko i-maximize lang talaga nila kung ano yung meron sila. And, yun, if they need help with friends, why not, diba? Again, doon ulit papasok yung discarte of networking, diba? Parang gano'n with someone. So, ako, thankful ako na sa mundo ng art. Ganun yung ginagalawan ko. We have a community. We have, I have a tight circle of friends na sobrang, mapagkakatiwalaan sa mga bagay-bagay. So, okay.
I think that's one very important thing about film. Film is a big community project, whether you're in the audience or you're working on the film. Because when you're working on the film, you're a team. You're not just one person. It's not just one person carrying out an artistic vision. It's a team. And then the point of the movie is to have an audience who will also feel that sense of community amongst themselves. Because as you said, when they see themselves in the story, when they like the story, it brings a different sense of community, which is one thing that draws a lot of us to film. And yes, Ian Carlo Bundok said it in the comments as well. Community is important for art. Now, I have another question here from Dambo Pornella saying, "Hi, Direct Arvin. Can you share the technical aspects of your work? Like in an ideal situation, ano preferred equipment, lighting style, etc." So I don't think you need to say brands, but I think for the lighting style, like what are some things people can keep in mind?
Yeah. Ngayon, sa akin kasi gumagawa ay ginagamit ko na ngayon mirrorless na cameras na rin na like standard 4K yung output para safe. Pag may gusto akong i-crop, ganun.
Yes.
Well, syempre hindi mo magagawa yun pag nag-one take ka. Kasi mostly yung mga ibang short films ka rin naka-one take ako. So, sa light, like, I'm a big fan of natural light. Pero, syempre iba rin yung disiplina nun. Kailangan talaga yung cinematographer mo, best friend mo sa ganun di ba?
Of course.
Iba ang mata ng cinematographer when it comes to natural lighting. Pero if we are going to use artificial light, kailangan talaga nagme-make sense siya sa story. Kasi ako, mas nakafocus ako sa story kaysa sa mga stylized na, alam mo yan, na ginagamit ko as aesthetic dun sa film. Parang mas nakafocus talaga ako dun sa story. Like kung paano ko siya, mostly mas ako sa mga camera angles na kung paano ko na-foreground yung protagonist ko. Parang ganun. And the rest, paano na lang din magra-run yung ibang elements, parang ganun. Again, just to answer the question, when it comes to the technicalities of light, mostly talaga natural light yung ginagamit ko. But if we need artificial light, para lang hindi ma-compromise yung quality, that's when we do the artificial light.
All right, thank you. So, Direct, there are two sides of being the director, as you said. There's the looking at the aesthetics, getting the vision out, the things that happen on screen. And there are also like the decisions that need to be made behind the scenes. Like in a sense, when you're the director, you're also kind of the head of what's going on, like on set, of all the people who are working behind. So, how do you approach task delegation on set, and how do you keep a healthy environment and atmosphere when you're creating a movie?
Um, yung so far sa experience ko with the team, una muna talaga kailangan alam nila yung story by heart. So yung pre-production ko talaga sobrang tagal. Like may journey talaga kami na talagang kahit na PA ka or like yung talagang hindi na like syempre importante ang mga production associate, di ba?
Of course.
And syempre, lalo na yung mga art tech, sila yung parang nag-visualize ng mga dapat ilagay dun sa set eh. So ayun, lahat sila talaga alam nila yung story ko by heart. Like, may mga times na kumakain kami sa labas, nagiinuman kami, and then we talk about the film. Alam mo yan, kahit sa mga actors, sa mga cast, ganun din yung, yung bonding ko with them. Kasi gusto ko talaga, parang pagdating sa set, kahit ano pa yung position mo doon, apektado ka. Doon sa flow nung
That's so true.
Story. So parang, ganun siya ka-intimate when it comes to the cast and crew sa mga pelikula ko. Tapos, mostly then yung delegation importante yung trust. Yung alam mo yan, nilagay mo sila doon for a reason, so you need to trust them, you need to give them confidence. Ako kasi mas gusto ko yung taong devoted kaysa sa magaling, kasi yung tao naman gumagaling, di ba?
Nice,
para sa akin,
nice.
Eventually ang tao naman gumagaling pagka ilang shooting experience yan, magaling na yan. Pero yung devotion nila na or passion nila to work with you, hindi mababayaran yun eh. So alam mo yan, hindi siya katumbas ng kahit gaano pa kamahal yung sahod nila or what. Parang minsan kasi kahit bayad ng malaki yung tao, kung hindi naman passionate dun sa ginagawa niya, mararamdaman
Yes,
niya.
that's so true.
So ayun, ganun. Yun yung importante din siguro talaga sa paggawa ng independent film.
All right. So now, what are non-film related skills that have helped you in the film industry?
Kasi music kasama, no? Teka.
Music.
Oo, kasi
Nice.
syempre yung sa score, di ba? Kasama pa rin. So hindi ko ano ba? Siguro sa pagbabasa, ewan ko. Kasi yan.
Reading.
Yun. Mahilig din ako magbasa. So, yun, yung kasi yung imagination mo pag nagbabasa ka, di ba? Sabi nga, kasi naging mentor ko din si Sir Ricky. I was part of the batch 17 sa workshop niya.
Oh, okay.
Isa sa mga hindi ko makakalimutan na importante yung pagbabasa kasi mas lumalawak yung imagination mo versus sa panonood. Kasi di ba kasi sa panonood,
yes, that's right.
binibigay na lahat sa iyo yung visual. You don't need to imagine. Unlike pag nagbabasa ka, buhay yung imaginations mo kasi restricted yung words limited yung words, di ba? So, parang kinukulong ka ng mga letters na hanggang doon lang yung mababasa mo. So, yung imagination mo mas lumalawak. So, feeling ko,
that's so true.
Feeling ko na-exercise yun pag nasa shoot ako. Parang yung imagination ko. Para ako nagbabasa pagka nasa set. yung
That's nice.
ko.
That's a very interesting way of looking at it, actually. So to my fellow prod students who are watching this, let's all read something that will help us for our next project. Actually, you mentioned the Sir Ricky workshop. We have another Sir Ricky workshopper here who will ask a question later. So
nice.
So stay tuned. But now I kind of want to ask you about your music before we move on to your film residency. So where did this love for music start, and what type of songs do you make? Have any of them been used in any of your films?
Yeah, yung kasi meron mostly yung mga yung nag-start ako sa rock music din talaga, like punk, experimental, metal music, no, may ingay, pero kasi may sense of calmness sa ingay para sa akin. Medyo ano siya, parang contradicting siya, parang gano'n na I mean sorry, yung term na parang may contrast dun sa pakiramdam na parang pag kailangan ko mag-relax gusto ko ng maingay, di ba? Di ba kasi yung kailangan medyo syempre soothing or like acoustic or like ambient music lang. Pero ako parang mas nare-relax ako pag medyo maingay yung pinapakinggan, parang gano'n. So ayun, yun yung parang ginagawa ko din sa labas ng film na somehow may sense of creation din doon, lumilikot din yung utak ko doon, parang gano'n. So Ayan, yun yung mga ginagawa ko din so far.
It's very aligned actually, both music and film, like in terms of the process of creation and it kind of being very communal. So I'm going to generalize is both music and film. So I guess in a creative industry, what's an important quality a person should have?
Mhm. Feeling ko yung patience.
Patience. Yes.
Oo. Kasi sabi nga, ewan ko parang personal observation ko din. Kasi I was doing short films na for biruin mo, nag-start ako 2012. Di ba 2022 na
Yes,
ngayon?
yes.
And ito pa lang yung time na parang gumagalaw yung full length ko. Alam mo yun? So parang it took me 10 years, di ba? So hindi
Yes,
talaga ako nagmamadali when it comes to creating your own craft. Kasi andun yung parang wala, syempre, yung sa idea may sense of urgency. 'Di ba? Pero dun sa mga passion films ko, parang pagka sinushoot ko na siya or like gusto ko na mag-materialize, sobrang patient ko dun sa ganung klase ng process. Ayun, patience and syempre yung dedication mo, ganun. Syempre, yun nga na kailangan actually it applies to everyone, like the dedication and
That's so true.
hard work. Pero ang sobrang hirap kasi talaga yung patience, di ba? Kasi minsan ang daming tumitigil kasi nafe-feel nila wala silang recognition sa ginagawa nila, di ba? Mostly ganun
Yes,
di ba?
yes.
So parang ako yung pa yung isang part na kailangan nilang parang pag-isipan na kahit na walang recognition na malaki, as long as you love what you're doing, I think susuklian ng universe. Ibabalik at ibabalik yun sa'yo. So, yun, naniniwala ako sa ganong klase ng discipline.
All right. I think that's something a lot of us in the audience needed to hear because I feel like especially now we need a lot of patience. And you're right. That's something that we can develop. So now let's talk about the plans you have this year, starting with the Cannes residency. So please tell us, how are you planning to prepare for this and how did it come to be?
Well, to be honest, siya sobrang suntok sa buwan siya kasi syempre, it's a program from Cannes, di ba? So,
yes.
And parang hearing it, parang sobrang surreal. Kasi I'm a big fan of the festival myself. Kasi yung mga mostly mga favorite films ko came from Cannes. So, and then nung nakita namin yung although familiar na ako dun sa Cannes residency in 2017, it was 2017 nung nalaman ko pa yun. And then iniisip ko talagang grabe paano kaya makapasok dito. Parang biruin mo kasi talagang sila yung aayos ng script mo, yung script development, and then syempre yung networking din na mangyayari sa residency, yung mga meet ng mga producers eventually sa festival, parang ganun. So, ayun, sobrang suntok sa buwan siya sa akin. And then, eventually, nung etong year na to, nung nagpasa kami last August, parang, last August kasi nagpasa kami ng producer ko. And syempre yung co-writer ko din na unfortunately wala na siya ngayon, si Pong Spontaneo. Kasi yung RIA, it all started way back 2013. So 9 years ago yung concept. Pero it was not written yet. Hindi pa talaga siya nabubuo as script. Just an idea, a concept. And I made that pact with a close friend of mine who is also in the funk scene. Si Pong Spontaneo, pero unfortunately he died last year. He died last year. Sorry, 2020. 2020. And actually it was because of the failed healthcare system kasi yun yung kinamatay niya kasi wala siyang COVID pero mababa yung potassium. Meron siyang potassium deficiency na hindi siya natanggap sa mga ospital and eventually umuwi na lang. Tapos yun nga, lumala yung sitwasyon hanggang sa iniwan niya tayo. So parang ganun. Doon ako nag-push na parang hindi ayaw pumayag kasi bilang close friend niya for like almost 10 years.
Yes.
Parang hindi ako pumayag na somehow gusto ko bukod dun sa mga graffiti art na ginagawa niya, yung mga zines na ginagawa niya, parang gusto ko rin siya ma-involve sa film. So kaya pinull out ko talaga yung storya na yun na nasa baul lang, alam mo yan. Ayun, and then tinuloy ko magsulat. Yun, tinagtap na ako ng co-writer ko, si Kyla Romero. Siya yung nakatuwang ko na buuin. For the first time in 8 years na gagawin na siyang script. Ginawa namin siya sequence treatment muna, ganun. And yun, eventually, I actually started conceptualizing everything like with Kyla and Mina.
Yes,
and
yes.
si Mina Cruz. Parang yun yung brainstorming namin. And then even August Espino. So ito yung mga kasama ko na talaga sa kasi si August, classmate ko siya kay Sir Ricky Lee. So parang ito yung mga close friends ko na talaga nagtulong-tulong kami with the story. And eventually naging script siya. Pinagtuon ng pansin talaga namin with my co-writer. And then ayun, pinasa namin sa Cine Foundation. Tapos hindi ko makakalimutan yun nung November nung naka-receive ako ng email na teka, ano ba to? Joke ba to? Spam ba to? Parang spam email kasi from Cannes. Normally kasi pag nakaka-receive ako ng mga news, mga email news from Cannes, it's like a marketing news eh.
Yes,
pero nagulat ako yung name ko nandun. The email is directed to me. Di ba? So parang, what? Parang ganun. Tapos sa pagbukas ko, sobrang sobrang surreal talaga ng pakiramdam. And then here comes the biggest challenge yung panahon na yun, yung interview. Kasi parang they chose 9 finalists from guys sa buong mundo, diba? So parang and then from that 9 finalists, they will choose 6. So yun yung parang pinaka-challenge na sana makuha ako yung ganyan. Talagang yun, nag-brainstorming ulit kami. This time, tumulong sa amin si Christine, yung producer ko din for this film. And then sila Kyla pa rin to si August. Yung nag-meeting kami. Tapos halatang-halata daw nila yung kaba ko eh. Diba? So,
of course.
iba yung pakiramdam din nun eh. So, ayun, ang galing kasi na-pull off. And then, ayun, talagang minsan kinakausap ko si Pong kahit patay na siya. Diba? Parang, tol, tulungan mo ako dito. Ang concept natin to, parang may mga ganung naniniwala pa rin kasi ako sa ganung ganung mantra. So,
the guidance.
Ayun, so ayun, sobrang happy nung natanggap ako sa top 6. So, again, it's another big responsibility kasi syempre kahit nandun ka sa to continue the script development in 6 months sa Paris. Iba yung responsibility, sabi nga 'di ba sa Spider-Man, 'di ba? With great power comes with great responsibility. So parang yun iniisip ko naman na kailangan maganda kalabasan ng script. So ayan, pero ang dami nagsasabi ko na friends na hindi, kailangan mag-iisipin nyo, kailangan again, balik ka dun sa pinaka main mantra mo na just stay true with your concept, di ba? Yung pagiging genuine, yung ganun. Kailangan, yun pa rin, yun yung basic rule ko eh, na minsan authenticity. Minsan nakakalimutan natin kasi na-overwhelmed ka sa blessings eh, di ba? So parang, kailangan bumalik ka sa grassroots mo, di ba? Na kung paano mo nagagawa paano ko nagawa yung mga unang films ko, which is uhaw na uhaw ka. Parang I need that feeling na kailangan ngayon uhaw na uhaw pa rin ako. Parang ganun. So, ayun.
Amazing. So I actually picked up a lot from that. So I see now, like, knowing the story behind the story that went into this, it's both an honor to be a part of the program, and it's also a great way of honoring your friend. So that adds like a lot of layers to this. So wow, everyone in the audience, I hope you picked something from that. And of course, to remember that authenticity, that keeping to your grassroots will always really help. So for you, Direk, how do you keep yourself grounded? Like, are there things you tell yourself? Do you have mantras or like a process to keep that reminds you to stay humble? Are there like reminders you set for yourself?
Siguro, masaya ako kasi na hanggang ngayon, kung sino yung tropa ko na nagsimula ako, sila pa rin. So, yun, doon pa lang diba, na maiisip mo na hindi ka talaga float eh, alam mo yan? Kasi sila na mismo yung nagpapako sa iyo. Pero yun, so, ako tsaka yun, pinanatili ko rin na ganun din ka liit yung circle ko with them. Na syempre since day one nandun sila, hanggang ngayon nandito pa rin sila. So sobrang solid ng ganung klase ng samahan. And bukod doon sa nakakasama ko, syempre yung first film ko na I made with a Kodak 10 megapixel camera and edited in Windows Movie Maker. Di ba? Parang,
Yes.
alam mo yun, so yun yung parang pakiramdam na hindi mo iniisip yung expectations about the film, you just want to create. Pag pinapanood ko yung first film ko, which is yung Monitoring Illness, oo, crappy yung quality, pero yung feeling ng proseso na kung paano ko siya nagawa, yun, parang bumabalik ako sa grassroots ko na, kailangan ko pang mag-improve hanggang ngayon. Parang ganun, alam mo yan, may ganun
Nice.
pakiramdam.
That's actually a very good mindset to keep. Na no matter what happens, you still know that there's room for improvement, because like that's something people tend to forget. Sometimes when they reach like a certain level, they're like, oh, okay, I've reached this now, okay na. But it's good to keep in mind that you always have space to learn. So with that in mind, are there any defining moments that helped you grow as a filmmaker? Like from your first film ever, or maybe even your first song ever to now? What are some defining moments that changed your outlook or that really helped you be the director you are or the person you are today?
Siguro yung mga first peeps na naka-appreciate ng ko. Kasi parang feeling ko sila yung parang naka-apekto yun na parang kasi it adds to the confidence na parang, okay, may kwenta pala itong ginagawa ko. Like, I know it's not a big recognition, but that's someone that will, pull you up na parang, tol, sige, tuloy mo lang yan, di ba? And then push you with what you love. Iba yun, ibang pakaramdaman. And then eventually, sobrang thankful din ako with my first mentors, like halimbawa, sina Direk Jim, and then our late director, Direk Sigfrid Baro Sanchez, rest in peace to him. Sila kasi yung mga unang naniwala sa akin talaga nung bagito pa talaga ako sa paggawa ng short film. So, ayun, sobrang feeling ko defining moment yun sa kung paano nila ako naalalayan. And then, yun, here comes, syempre, andyan din yung co-writer ko sa Nakaw. Yun, isa sa, co-writer and co-director ko sa Nakaw. He's also one of my mentors then when it comes to doing a disciplined visuals. Like, kasi dati, sobrang walwal lang yung mga ginagawa ko na pelikula kasi nga syempre hindi ako napag-film school na yun ako pangarap ko din kasi talaga before na since iba yung course ko kaya hindi ko rin talaga hininto yung sarili ko na matuto with attending workshops and I was so lucky before nung nakuha rin ako kay Sir Ricky na sobrang ang dami ko rin natutunan. Feeling ko yung mga ganun, it's part of my defining moments sa buhay na every time na nagkakaroon ako ng realization from others, mas malaking bagay yun. And hanggang ngayon, alam mo yan, kasi katulad yan ngayon sa Cannes Residency, again, it's another learning, diba, experience. So, ayun, good thing lang din na mas malaki ang percentage ko ng makinig kaysa magsalita. So, parang feeling ko kailangan yun sa mga filmmakers din na maging observant ka and listener. And from there, saka mo pag nasa set ka na magsalita.
Yes.
Pero yung learning and the writing and all, minsan as a filmmaker, ang sarap makinig.
So before I give the floor to the students, let's talk about balance. How do you balance out like the need for improvement and satisfaction? So let's say you have a movie and that feeling when you feel like there's so many things you need to revise, like your script is done, but you still want to revise, you still want to make it perfect. But then you know that you can't edit forever. There's a deadline, there's a time to start filming. So how do you balance out that want to improve and the satisfaction of, okay, this is it, this is going to be our film?
Isa sa mga hindi ko makakalimutan na natutunan ko kay Sir Ricky. Minsan, yung ending ng improvement sa script or like sa decision making mo dun sa pag-concept ay deadline. Wala nang iba. So kailangan bigyan mo ng deadline. Kasi kung halimbawang meron na kayong day of shooting, di ba? For example, ang shoot nyo first week of February. So you need to have a deadline like end of January, and whatever comes to that deadline, yun na yung pinakasagad ng satisfaction mo. So may ganun. Parang yun yung magiging contest mo with the universe. Na kung ano yung ibibigay mo sa deadline na yun as an individual. Which is, ako for me, it's thrilling. Di ba? Na parang, ano kaya ang pinakasagad na may isip ko on that specific date? And you need to be satisfied with that. Di ba? Parang gano'n. Ang galing din ang naisip ni Sir Ricky. Kasi I remember one of my classmates asked that, na kailan ka titigil? Sabi, no, hindi ka titigil. So you need to have a deadline. Di ba? And
Oh my gosh,
di ba?
yes,
Parang
yes.
gano'n. You need to have an internal deadline with yourself. Na, okay, gagawin ko to ng ganitong date. The script will end on this date. And then I need to shoot on this date. So parang, ang galing lang. So kung ano yung nasuka mo ng utak mo sa mga araw na yon, that defines who you are as an artist, di ba? Ang galing di ba? Parang,
That's such a good thing to
di ba?
remind, actually.
Ayun.
I
Ako
needed
yun
to
yung,
hear that.
ako yun kasi yung ina-exercise ko talaga sa sarili ko. Na halimbawa, meron, katulad nito, yung RIA, yung for Cannes Film Festival, for Cannes Residency. So yung, syempre, may deadline ako niyan.
Yes, of course.
Kailangan pagdating ko, ito yung time na mapupunta na kami like for the financing, ganun. And then yung shooting date, meron din kaming specific date for the shoot, parang ganun. So kailangan may deadline ka sa script development mo, 'di ba? Hindi naman kailangan 10 years kang gumagawa ng script. Alam mo yun? So ayan, I think that deadline will define you and you need to enjoy it. Parang ganun.
Nice.
Parang ganun.
You need to enjoy it, of course. That's something very important to remember. But I like that concept that you have to give yourself a deadline and that it's like your contest to the universe, that whatever you release on that deadline, that's it. That's something I super need, because I feel like if there's no deadline, I will revise and revise and revise, and the process can go on forever because you'll always find something you want to fix.
Yes, you need to be fair. You need to be fair with the universe then. Kaya kailangan mo deadline talaga.
Nice. I like that. I will keep that in mind. Okay, so joining us right now in our panel are two creative writing students from Ateneo, and they were also Ricky Lee workshoppers. So here's Ian Bondok and Migoy Arroyo, and they have questions for you. So Migoy, please go first.
Hello.
Hi,
Migoy.
For this opportunity to ask questions. I guess yung question ko lang comes is, I'm writing something right now. So I guess my question is, when you're writing something personal, how do you write it in a way that it doesn't come across as narcissistic or self-important? It's all me.
I think Migoy ba? Migoy?
Yes,
I think you need to leave out yourself. Like, kailangan hindi ka selfish when it comes to writing. You need to focus on your character. Kasi at the end of the day, it's not about you. It's about your protagonist. Diba? So, kailangan isakripisyo mo muna yung sarili mo na hindi, ito tungkol to sa akin sa kung ano man yung influence ko or kung ano man yung personal experiences ko na sobrang connected dito sa storya na to, since it's very personal. I think kailangan tanggalin mo yun lahat and you just need to focus on your protagonist. Magiging guide mo lang yung experience mo and also yung influences, since it's very personal to you. Kasi when you say it's personal, everything is about how art influenced you, di ba? And also how your personal experience connected to you. So parang ganun. Pagka gagawin mo na siyang film, ibang usapan yun. Kasi pag gagawa ka na ng film, you're creating your own universe. Di ba? Doon sa universe na yun, sino yung nakatira? Which is yung protagonist mo. So you need to share everything to that protagonist. You need to focus on him or her. Parang you need to be selfless about that protagonist. Kailangan doon ka mag-focus kung ano yung magiging journey. Ayan.
Sige, thank you po.
Nice. More useful advice, because like I hear that a lot. Now sometimes people have a hard time like drawing the line between their characters and themselves, especially when you're writing about an experience, like a personal experience. So, Ian, your turn.
Hello, Direk.
Hello, Ian.
Actually, hearing you talk about receiving that email from Cannes and preparing for it gave me second-hand excitement po. So, on that note, yung question ko po is, what are some pieces of advice you think would be helpful for local filmmakers looking to engage po in film opportunities, camps, or workshops abroad, similar to your upcoming residency?
Siguro yung pinaka pwedeng maging related din, relatable sa'yo as an artist, like as a filmmaker. Yung parang magiging similarities lang natin, I think if we have a, like both personal stories, parang gano'n, na kailangan talaga yung film somehow personal sa'yo. If not, it's okay, but as long as you are totally connected to it, like your soul is connected to it. Kasi kung bawang nabasa mo lang siya from current news and like may nabasa ka lang interesting story sa social media, or like nakwento lang siya ng tropa mo, or alam mo yun na parang ito parang gusto ko ito yung gusto kong i-direct, it's totally fine, it's okay, but somehow kailangan meron ding personal attachment sa'yo yun. Paano mo siya i-relate sa'yo as a person? Parang ganun. Kasi when I did The Guardians, yung short film ko na The Guardians, that story came from my co-director, si Carlo Valenzuela, na nabasa niya lang sa isang article, yung tricycle driver na sinasakay din yung anak. Parang, I know it's not connected totally to me as a person, pero yung relevance nun yung when it comes to yung marginalized people living in that area, na parang ako meron din akong personal experience na I'm fighting for someone na sobrang critical yung sitwasyon na natutulungan ko. Yung gano'n na parang somehow it should be connected to you as a person, as an individual. Kasi doon makakatulong yun pagka sinulat mo na yung mga characters mo. Kahit na kwento siya ng kahit saan pa siya galing, as long as you let yourself connected to it, feeling ko magiging genuine yun. So, at pag nabuo mo yun, mapapansin namin yung honesty sa visuals mo na parang, okay, si Ian ang gumawa nito. Yeah, boses to ni Ian. Alam mo yan, may ganang pakiramdam yun eh. Na parang, pag napapanood din nila yung pelikula ko, kay Caddy Boy to, kay Arvin to. May ganun. Feeling ko malalaman mo or mahanap mo yung boses mo na pwede mong ilaban sa like big stage or like local or like international film festival. Yun yung parang magpapa-unique sa'yo eh. Kasi ngayon kasi di ba sobrang dami na ng gumagawa, marami ng filmmakers ngayon na parang ano pa ba yung hindi namin napapanood? Feeling ko yung hindi pa nila napapanood is yung personal connection nila sa'yo on how you will execute it as a director. Kasi everyone is unique eh. 'Di ba? So kailangan yung storya mo is connected to you. Parang magkakaroon siya ng personal DNA mo eh. Parang gano'n. Ayan. Doon muna, kailangan yun yung root. Yun yung pinaka-root. And then, universe will follow. Bibigay niya yun sa'yo pag halimbawa sobrang dedicated ka sa ginagawa.
That's very good advice, Derek. Actually, something like you hear, especially from people our age, is because everyone is already doing something. Everyone has already done a movie like this, a movie like this. You feel like it's hard to find your place in the industry because everyone is doing what they can think of, but no one else is you. And you're right. Only you can tell your own story. So that's very, very good advice. And I'm sure a lot of people can learn from that. So before we close, what's an aspect of filmmaking you think film students like us should keep in mind or always remember? Like something we can correct as early as now with our mindsets?
Actually, hindi naman sa kasi parang gusto kong i-press or like talaga i-highlight yung word na na mistake, na parang huwag kayong matakot magkamali talaga for me. So okay lang, like feeling ko kung meron kayong dapat palitan or what, it's okay, just move on and improve to your second short film or kung ano pa man yung gagawin niyo, na parang yun kasi yung yun kasi yung ginagawa ko sa ginawa ko before with my previous films na syempre maganda yung sabi nila maganda yung kinakalabasan, pero ako baliktad, hinahanapan ko siya ng pangit kasi the next time na gagawa ako, yun yung i-improve ko. So ganun, ewan ko, actually effective siya, promise. Yung parang laging yun yung mantra mo na gusto mo pa mag-improve, parang ganun. Pero ang feeling ko dun sa question mo, yung aspect, sobrang simple lang. Dalawa lang. I think you need to be like 100% film lover, like film enthusiast,
Yes, yes.
Na kailangan manood ka ng diverse cinema, like local cinema,
Mhm.
Asian cinema, European cinema, American cinema, lahat talaga. Like, mas maganda nga kung yung panoorin mo yung mga pelikula na hindi ka komportable. Kasi magkakaroon ka ng parang additional learning when it comes to their culture. Kasi katulad ngayon, sobrang addict ako ngayon sa Romanian cinema. 'Di ba? Totally I'm alien to that, 'di ba? Kasi hindi
Yes,
ko naman
yes.
alam kung ano yung Romanian culture. Pero nung pinanood ko siya, ang galing kasi natutuwa ako natutuwa ako kasi ang dami kong hindi alam na ay okay, ang galing ganito pala yun. Parang pina-practice ko yung sarili ko sa mga films na hindi ako familiar and hindi ako comfortable kasi somehow natututo ako doon. Yun yung isa. Feeling ko kasi mag ano eh, kumbaga may stretch yung learning mo doon
Yes, yes.
as an artist na parang
Mhm.
mas marami kang matututunan pagka nilagay ka sa isang sitwasyon na hindi mo pa alam, parang gano'n. And yung pangalawa is yung experience talaga. Parang kahit sobrang dami na ng diploma mo sa workshop or certificate sa film, hangga't hindi ka pa nag-shoot, you're still a beginner.
That's
So
so true.
kailangan mag-shoot ka. Mag-shoot ka ng mag-shoot, magkamali ka ng magkamali hanggang sa ma-define mo kung ano yung boses mo as a filmmaker. So yun lang, yun. Manood at mag-shoot. Ganun
And
kasimple.
read.
And read.
And
Yes,
read.
and read. Exactly. So ayun, yun yung, kasi ako sinishare ko lang kasi, di ba, wala namang like fixed book for you to be a filmmaker, a good filmmaker. At kung i-google mo man yan, technicalities yung ibibigay sa'yo. And syempre, yung words of wisdom nila. Pero at the end of the day, it's all about you personally, your own personal experience and your own personal influences. Parang ganun. So, yeah, syempre yung personal
Alright.
motivation din.
Of course. All right. So to end on a light note, this does not need to be film related, but what are you looking forward to most when you go to Cannes?
Yung baguette. Tsaka wine.
Of course.
Ayun, yung dalawang yun. Sobrang like, tsaka syempre yung din, yung, ano ba yan, yung learning ka from a different perspective. Connected sa film, Pero yan siya,
Yes,
actually,
it'll always go back.
pero sobrang na-excite ako kung paano nila ako i-guide. Kasi like since it again as I mentioned earlier, it all started in 2000. It was conceived in 2013. Na sobrang ang daming utak na rin yung tumulong and all, pero yung program ng Cannes, kung ano yung gagawin nila doon, na-excite ako doon. So, ayun, sobrang excited talaga ako sa mga mangyayari doon.
And like Ian said, we have second-hand excitement for you. All right.
Thank you guys.
Before we go, where can we find you? What are your socials? Where can we join you on your journey?
Well, ayun. Please visit yung Mud Studios. Yun yung production house ko ngayon. MUD, Mud Studios. Nasa Facebook siya. Tapos they can easily go to mudstudios.net. Andun din yung mga films ko, yung mga short films ko, and then yung ibang mga short films din ng iba pang mga uprising filmmakers. So it's www.mud/studios.net. Yan. Dash. Yun. mud-studios.net. So, ayun, andun, pwede nila mapanood yung mga films ko dun. And yun, sa Facebook, same name naman, Arvin Belarmino. Ayan.
All right. We'll have our station manager post the links in the comments later so people know where to find you and where to check out your films. All right. So the hour is almost over. And before we say goodbye to our guests, I'm going to need to thank a few people first. Oh, people already found Mud Studios in the comments. So Perfect. So perfect. So before we properly wrap up this episode and say goodbye to everyone in the audience and to our wonderful guests, please allow me to thank a few people first. So thank you to James for handling today's broadcast, and of course to Sir Justin for always having our backs, and to Sir Jersham who helped put this together, who could not be with us today.
Hello, Joshua.
Thank you, Sir Jersham. And fun fact,
Thank
he is
you.
the one who made us watch movies that we would not usually watch on a normal day. So he's the one that broadened our horizons. So thank you once again, Migoy and Ian, for your enthusiasm and for helping me out today. And of course, thank you to our audience for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you all next week. Thank you for your questions. Now, please don't miss out. Follow us on Instagram at newwave.rk to stay updated. Catch the replay of this episode on Radio-Katipunan 87.9 FM's Facebook page, YouTube, Twitter Live, and don't forget that you can now catch us as a podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. But most of all, thank you to Direct Arvin Belarmino for sharing your wisdom with us today and for spending your afternoon with us. We learned so much, and we're for sure now going to give ourselves deadlines when we have our creative project, and we will keep all of your advice in mind. Once again, congratulations. We wish you the best, and we're looking forward to your upcoming projects. When you get to Cannes, please have a baguette for us, maybe even a croissant. The floor is yours to say anything you want to say to our audience.
Again, guys, thank you. Radio Katipunan, thank you for having me here. And soon, let's talk about films pa. And syempre, ayun, hopefully, maging okay lahat din naman ng process, pero naka-ready naman ako sa kung ano yung mga challenges na ibibigay sa ng universe. Pero ayun, just stay true with your art and be honest with all the concepts that you have in mind, and be patient.
Last minute comment from Lito Fugoso. Kads, I'm happy for you, from Backyard Days to Cannes.
Yeah, si Sir Lito, yan, I think 2012, ganun, 2011 to 13. Diyan kami diyan kami nagkakaroon ng mga film exhibition sa Backyard
Nice.
Food Truck. And ang daming natulungan ni Sir Lito doon sa mga new artists na nag-express ng art nila, from music to painting, and even me as a filmmaker. So hi Sir Lito, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Salamat.
Yes, thank you, Tito Lito. He has helped us with some of our episodes before.
Wow.
And then last
Small
minute,
world.
yes, and last minute, hello to Ma'am Jen. So once again, Direk, thank you for joining us. We are for sure going to keep all of your lessons in mind. Once again, good luck in Cannes. And to our audience, this has been half of your midweek gang who's always ready to hang. I'm Max, and this has been New Wave. We'll see you all next week. Keep safe, and Athenians, good luck during enlistment. Bye!
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
If it's entertainment you crave,
Catch us on
New Wave, surfing through the latest on our shores.
every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m.
See you there!
Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan.